This is an audio-visual presentation given to the East Windsor Regional Board of Education on violence and vandalism on October 25th, 2010. Each year, every school district in New Jersey reports to the state any incidents they've had concerning violence and vandalism. Reports are collected from each of the 6 schools in the district, and then this information is transmitted electronically to the state using a system called the EVVRS. Each year, the state changes some of the reporting methods, which can make it difficult to look at the previous year. However, this report will examine our numbers from last year and also compare them to the previous year. The state identifies incidents by 4 different reporting categories, as you can see on the screen. And they also identify information about the offenders, the victims, and what action was taken. When examining the various incidents that occurred in the East Windsor Regional School District last year, you will note that the total number dropped from 102 to 75, with 4 major reporting categories being violence, vandalism, weapons, and substance abuse. The majority of the remaining report will discuss these 4 categories in more detail. Under acts of violence, and is also where we had the most dramatic total decrease. Acts of violence consist of 9 categories, including simple assault, aggravated assault, fight, robbery, extortion, sex offense, criminal threat, harassment, intimidation, and bullying threat, and kidnapping. All areas, with the exception of a singular robbery, decreased or remained at 0. The East Windsor Regional School District dropped from 65 incidents to 35 incidents. Under types of vandalism, we also had a dramatic total decrease. Types of vandalism consist of 8 categories, including arson, burglary, damage to property, fireworks offense, theft, fake bomb, bomb threat, and trespassing. All areas decreased or remained at 0. The East Windsor Regional School District dropped from 23 incidents to 11 incidents. In examining the actions taken for the various acts of violence and vandalism, there was a decrease in out-of-school suspensions. This would make sense because there were far fewer incidents. However, it is very telling that our police notifications have slightly increased. One possibility for this increase would be our continued vigilance in our response towards acts of violence or vandalism. As expected, with a decrease in incidents, there was also a decrease in the number of offenders and victims. With respect to weapons, the East Windsor Regional School District saw an increase in one area, which is the possession of other weapons. Other weapons are defined as an air gun, a buck knife, cigarette lighter, knife, pin dart, razor, scissor, sharp pen or pencil. Last year, all incidents of other weapons consisted of the possession of a knife or penknife. Last year, we unfortunately saw increases in confirmed use of alcohol and marijuana. We do employ a student assistance counselor in our high school who works with students if they are having any issues with substance abuse. As you can see, we also had an increase in the possession of marijuana, and we had one student who possessed drug paraphernalia. There's a lot of good information in this presentation. Of course, we'll never settle for anything more than 0. We don't want controlled substances in our schools or students under the influence. We certainly do not want weapons in our schools or there to be any incidents of violence. We also want to protect our property against vandalism. Some of the things that are occurring in our elementary schools are a Value of the Month program, where 10 values are highlighted throughout the school year. We have individual student recognition takes place during monthly pride assemblies. Guidance lessons are taught by the guidance counselor, and we have campfire safety programs. Puppets with a Mission Club, where vignettes are presented during each pride assembly with an anti-bullying message. We've had knighting ceremonies with a Hall of Fame induction, and Peacemaker of the Month recognition, where each teacher nominates a deserving student of the month and a certificate at a ceremony takes place. Some of the things that are occurring in our middle school would be that our present 7th grade students attended anti-bullying production last year, and anti-bullying lessons were taught. We've had school-wide assembly with Michael Fallon focused on respect, acceptance, and anti-bullying. Our present 8th grade participated in Peer Proof and an anti-bullying program. We've also had Rachel's Challenge. Other things at our middle school would consist of random acts of kindness, counselors visiting each classroom to provide anti-bullying strategies to the students, student mediations that involve bullying are conducted by administration and the counselors, yearly themes for each grade level promote respect and responsibility. 8th graders also do the NJ peer-to-peer presentations for 6th grade students. We participate in a Mix-It-Up Day also to promote tolerance and acceptance. Finally, we also have some safeguards and consequences in place at the middle school, such as a timeout room, a lunch detention room, video cameras, and campus monitors. At the high school, more involvement of parents through the use of electronic communication or face-to-face meetings is another valuable tool. Proactive interventions based on information gathered by our security team, the counselors, and teachers also prevent negative interactions. Assistance from the guidance department in conflict resolution and peer mediation prevent some negative interactions. And we also have a number of clubs and organizations, such as the O Ambassadors, Friends of Rachel, and Choosing to Participate. Also in the high school, we have installed and are effectively using digital cameras. Additionally, the consequences for severe infractions have increased. For example, permanent loss of privileges can now be a consequence of any major infraction, where in the past it took 3 events that rose to that level. We also have a very good working relationship with the East Windsor and Hightstown police departments. That concludes this presentation.